I still remember how my eyes burned that night, staring at that damn spreadsheet. I'd been at it since 1 in the afternoon, numbers blurring, my third cup of coffee going cold beside my keyboard. By 8 o'clock, I'd finally finished the quarterly report my boss, Nick, had been breathing down my neck about. Outside my home office window, night had fallen, without me even noticing. I saved the document twice, paranoid about losing all that work. Nick hadn't been subtle about the threat. Finish tonight, or clean out your desk tomorrow. We'd already lost 3 people that month because of strategic restructuring. With a newborn at home and a mortgage that kept me up at night, losing my job wasn't an option. To concentrate better, he'd said when suggesting I work from home. I knew what it really was, a test. Deliver or be replaced. I stretched in my chair, wincing at the knots in my shoulders and lower back. That hand-me-down office chair was murder on my spine. I'd only allowed myself brief breaks throughout the day, a hasty lunch of cold leftovers, and a few quick visits to check on Julie. My beautiful little girl, just 6 weeks old, with wisps of dark hair like her mother's, and what I was already convinced were my hazel eyes. I checked my phone. No texts from Anna. She'd left about an hour earlier for a grocery run, saying she'd be back soon. We need groceries, and I could use the fresh air, she told me, kissing my forehead before heading out. I knew she'd been feeling cooped up since Julie's birth. A quick solo trip to the store was probably preserving her sanity. I rubbed my eyes hard and leaned back, tilting my face toward the ceiling. The pressure behind my eyelids was intense after staring at spreadsheets all day. Just a few minutes of rest before Anna got home. That's all I needed. I let my eyes close, feeling immediate relief as darkness enveloped me. I don't know how long I was out when a sound pulled me back. A soft, whimpering cry, gradually growing louder. My eyes fluttered open, and I glanced around disoriented before realizing it was coming from the baby monitor on the corner of my desk. The small white device glowed softly in the dim room. Julie was awake and fussing. I checked my phone again. Still no message from Anna, but she'd probably be home any minute. I pushed myself up. From dozing off in that uncomfortable chair, the crying continued through the monitor, pulling at something deep inside me. "Coming, sweetheart?" I murmured, though I knew Julie couldn't hear me. Just as I moved toward the door, I heard a distinctive sound through the monitor, the soft creak of the nursery door opening. I paused. Then came Anna's voice, gentle and melodic, beginning a lullaby.
"Hush, little baby. Don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird."
I couldn't help but smile as I settled back into my chair. Anna must have returned while I was dozing and gone straight upstairs to check on Julie. The crying subsided as she continued singing, her voice flowing through the monitor's small speaker.
"And if that mockingbird won't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring."
I closed my eyes again, letting the gentle lullaby wash over me. This was everything I'd ever wanted. Anna, Julie, our little house. Despite the stress and money worries, moments like this reminded me how lucky we truly were. The singing continued, Anna's voice slightly distorted by the monitor, but unmistakably hers. This is the start of a wonderful family, I thought, feeling myself drifting off again. A sudden noise jerked me awake. the distinctive creak of our front door opening. My eyes snapped open. I turned toward my office doorway and watched as Anna struggled through the entrance, plastic grocery bags dangling from both hands, her keys still in the door.
Can you help with these? The milk is heavy and...
She began, but stopped when she saw my face. Through the baby monitor, her voice continued singing the lullaby.
If that diamond ring turns brass, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass.
I stared at Anna, my brain short-circuiting as it tried to reconcile what I was seeing with what I was hearing. She stood frozen in the doorway, grocery bags still in hand, her expression changing as she registered the horror on my face.
Jim, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a...
I bolted past her toward the stairs, taking them two at a time. Behind me, I heard grocery bags hit the floor and Anna's panicked voice calling my name. My heart slammed against my ribs as I raced down the hallway toward the nursery. Number. What is happening here? The thought hammered with each frantic step. I reached the nursery door, the door I'd painted pale yellow last summer while Anna was still pregnant, and threw it open so hard it crashed against the wall. The room was dimly lit by Julie's rabbit nightlight, casting soft shadows across the walls with their woodland creatures. I froze in the doorway, Anna colliding with my back a moment later.
Jim, what's happening? Is Julie...
I felt her push past me into the room, heard her sharp intake of breath. The singing had stopped the moment I'd opened the door. Julie lay in her crib, eyes open, apparently unharmed. But standing beside her was a figure draped in shadow, tall and unnaturally thin. As we burst in, it turned toward us, revealing a face that seemed to absorb the meager light rather than reflect it. Where features should have been, there was only a suggestion of depth, like a void pulled over a human framework. For one terrible moment, it studied us with what I somehow knew was curiosity. Then it bent over Julie's crib one last time, elongated fingers hovering above her face. I couldn't move. My body refused to obey my desperate command to protect my daughter. The figure straightened and stepped backward, not toward the wall, but somehow into it, the shadows absorbing its presence until nothing remained but the ordinary darkness of a nursery at night. Anna broke free first, rushing to the crib and snatching Julie into her arms. Our baby strangely wasn't crying, but staring with unusual focus at the spot where the figure had disappeared.
What was that?
Anna's voice shook as she clutched Julie to her chest.
Jim, what did we just see?
I moved on unsteady legs to the baby monitor on the dresser. The receiving unit looked normal, on and functioning. I picked it up, turning it over in my hands. It was singing to her, I said, my voice sounding distant even to myself. Using your voice. Anna shook her head rapidly, tears forming.
That's not possible. I just got home. I was at the store for almost an hour.
I placed the monitor back on the dresser. I know. We stood in silence, the implications too terrifying to voice aloud. Finally, Anna spoke barely above a whisper.
This isn't the first time I've come home to Julie being different, calmer, like someone's been caring for her while I was gone.
A chill ran through me. What do you mean?
Sometimes I'd put her down fussing, run out for 20 minutes, and return to find her sound asleep. I thought she was just settling herself.
She looked down at Julie, who was now contentedly grasping at her necklace.
Last week, I could have sworn I heard singing coming from her room when I came up the stairs, but when I opened the door, there was nothing.
I approached them slowly, placing one arm around Anna and gently touching Julie's cheek with my free hand. She turned toward my touch, completely unperturbed by what had just happened. "We need to move," I said firmly. "Tonight, we'll go to my mother's house." Anna nodded, still staring at the wall where the figure had disappeared.
What if it follows us?
I had no answer. I just held my family tighter, eyes fixed on the shadows gathering in the corners of the nursery. On the dresser, the baby monitor emitted a soft burst of static, then silence. From downstairs came the sound of the front door creaking, then gently closing. We hadn't locked it in our rush to the nursery.
If that looking glass gets broke,
Came a whisper through the monitor, in Anna's perfect voice.
Mama's gonna buy you a billy goat.
I don't sleep much these days. Neither does Anna. We've moved twice since that night, and I've destroyed every baby monitor we've owned. But sometimes, when I check on Julie at night, I still hear humming from her room before I open the door. And sometimes, when I look at my daughter, now 3 years old and thriving, I catch her staring into empty corners of rooms, smiling and waving at nothing I can see. At least, nothing I can see yet.